Good afternoon and welcome to another episode of Wayne's World of Science and Technology. Today I want to take a quick look at delusion, I guess is one way of putting it. I spend a lot of time talking to Russian sympathizers. These people have a extremely warped view of the world and quite often totally misunderstand what they're seeing. It's not that they're stupid, they aren't. It's that there's so much bullshit flying around right now that people are having a hard time figuring what the hell is going on. Which is probably one of the reasons, hopefully, that you're listening to me. Listening to the nasty old man who generally has a bit of an idea what's going on. A bit. Anyway, talking to these people is very valuable. And I know a lot of people basically say, why would you want to talk to these idiots? They don't know anything. Well, the thing is that while they are delusional, in other words, they're working off of data, which is, basically working off of bad data, they aren't stupid. And a lot of their concerns are actually valid. They've just been twisted. Take, for example, the concern about the Ukrainian genocide in the Donbass. They're concerned about genocide. That's great. The only problem is that when you address them on it, you say, okay, where's your evidence for a genocide before 2014 when Putin invaded Crimea and the Donbass? And they will say, oh, it's all over the place, but they can't show you any because it doesn't exist. But they will swear up and down that it does exist. And it's extremely hard to convince them it doesn't exist unless you can actually get them to go look, which is something I'm still working on. But anyway, if you're working off of bad data, and a lot of people are because, well, quite frankly, AI is not helping, and you have a huge number of people pushing out the absolutely worst crap. And when I say worst crap, we've all seen those nice little sign saying, 5 minutes ago this happened. This just happened. Or super important. And guess what? It's just somebody blowing their mouth off. And nothing's really happened. Or for that matter, if you're a superhero fan, which I am. I mean, hell, I'm old enough that I read the first Fantastic Four comic when it came out. And you look at the state of reporting on superhero movies, you start wondering exactly what the heck's going on, because you'll see two different stories about the same movie. And the one is that it's an absolute piece of crap. The other is that it was half decent. And it is almost hilarious at times looking at the differences when they're talking about the same project. Now, okay, people are going to have different views on things because you're going to have different likes and different dislikes. That's just the way it is. But almost all of the fuss is just a few idiots making a big noise because, well, hey, they seem to think that making noise is probably the best way to get everybody's attention. And to a certain extent, they're right. The internet is an attention economy. As you may have gathered, I don't really play by anybody's stupid reindeer games. I play by my own stupid reindeer games. I personally think mine are more fun and probably going to get me further, but hey, let's face it, I'm an arrogant old sop, so you got to figure that me saying that means very little. But back to the thing. Talking to these people, even if you don't like them, is useful. Every time you talk to them, they're getting information they did not have before. They may totally blow you off on the information, but it's a crack in the armor, a chink, which you can use to pry open and slowly make further gains. The whole point is you're not going to turn anybody's mind around in 5 seconds. It's a long-term project. That's one of the reasons I'm cutting these videos on the internet. they'll be around for years to come. People will be able to see them, and hopefully they will have an impact in some small way. Because we really need to get people thinking more clearly. We need to get them looking at what's actually there, and we need to start stomping really heavily on the disinformation purveyors. And when I say stomping heavily, it's things like me going into their comment section and saying, "Are you fucking morons or what?" Yeah, I do that. YouTube's given up on trying to make me behave, as you may have noticed. I keep on getting these warnings saying, "We're going to ban you," but they never do anymore. They used to. Yeah, I get a bad temper, so what can I say? We need to stomp on these people. You have to keep pushing back. If you tell them they're being absolute jerks, do it often enough, and they start changing their actions. Push them super hard, but talk to them. Always talk to them. If you don't keep the lines of communication open, you don't know what you're dealing with. Anyway, that's it for today. Hope you appreciated this. Like, subscribe, and all that guff if you did. And have a nice day, folks. Bye-bye.